Due to suggestive adult themes and dialogue, this podcast is intended for adults. In other words, the truth is ugly, so we get ugly right along with it. Everything we say is out of love for ourselves, our people, and our community. Sincerely, the Green Route Podcast.
And stop the damn dancing! Act like you got some goddamn sense, people!
Black people don't hope, we wish. We wish a motherfucker would be in our shit.
As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground. And it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.
All right, y'all. I want to welcome y'all to the Green Route Podcast, episode number 14.
Yeah.
Episode 14. We're in the double digits, y'all. I am GS.
And I'm Marlissa. What's up, y'all?
Oh, man. So let's do it.
All right. So you want to hop in on the water main failure?
Okay. So what's going on in Michigan? They had a really huge pipe that burst, and it happened to be one of the main lines. And as a result, they had millions of people on alert having to boil their water. Now, this is Michigan. This is the same place, the same state that has Flint.
Yep.
They have purposely made decisions that have been harmful to the people in those cities in regards to the water. This happens to be an accident that's being harmful to them. So I'm not sure what we're going to call that, but it's one of those situations where it's like anything bad can happen, but it only sucks even more because y'all have actively allowed certain bad things to happen. Mm-hmm. So
with the water main break, like, what do you know about the fix? How long is it taking them to actually...
I think they're working on it right now.
Okay.
So
better than Flint.
So way better than Flint. So
okay.
They should have that up by next week.
Okay.
It's just crazy that it's affecting so many people.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to point out, so when GS sent me this, I thought about another story that I had just heard of where a study, they studied 26,000 school children, some of which have been exposed to lead, and come to find out that lead does exactly what the fuck we thought it did.
Yes.
And affects these kids' brain development. And so now they're realizing that contamination, exposure to pollution, plus systemic racism, which we know plays a role in just about everything in this country, shout out to the 1619 Project, are affecting our kids and their ability to do well in school, their test scores, their ability to learn. And so now they're actually saying, like, no, there is a scientific connection between what our kids are exposed to and how they perform in the classroom. Now, I know you're an educator, so there's a whole skew of things that affect why our kids perform the way that they do, including cultural relevance, the way our children learn, all of that. But this is just one more strike against them. Absolutely.
It's one of those things where it's like they're already aware of the hazards of certain environments, of certain situations that children can be in that can inhibit their learning, but now they're learning more about how they're being poisoned, and that is affecting them in a whole different kind of way.
Yeah.
We're talking about brain development. Right. We're talking about your cognitive functioning, all of that. So now that we have a better understanding, it's time to test kids. It's time to test kids. How much lead when you think about our communities, how much lead is in the blood of our children? We need to know that.
That's real. I remember some friends back in LA who got exposed to lead when we were kids. And when I moved into my house, so, you know, I live in Oak Cliff on purpose. And I tested my water when I moved into my house for that reason. So, yeah, I'm definitely with you there. So any last thoughts on this one?
Honestly, this is something that needs federal, national attention. We already know that pollution within communities is a real thing. For whatever reason, black communities, there's actually an interesting documentary on Vice that talks about community pollution, and it's how, like, certain cities have been overexposed to pollutants, toxins, all kinds of stuff, but nothing has changed. Like, it's in some places there where kids can't even play in the grass. They have signs. Jeez. So this has already been a problem within our communities. But what it's looking like is, because it's in our communities, they're not paying it as much attention, giving it as much seriousness. Yep. So that's my point. That's my thought on it.
No, that's all a good point. And I guess the last thing I would say on this is not new news, y'all. Like, anybody who grew up in the inner city of any state, any city, any region, like, you know that they dump on our community. So that's where the wastewater treatment facilities are going to be. That's where a lot of, you know, the 18-wheelers are going to house. And so when you really think about where they put that type of very high industrial type shit, it's always near our communities. Always. Hence why we have higher rates of asthma, why we have higher rates of
cancer.
You know, I've been there. So literally it's a thing. And I think they call it environmental racism, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think there's a term for it now.
I think that might be it right there.
So there's more of that shit going on in America. America the ghetto.
America the ghetto, indeed.
And stop the damn dancing. Act like you got some goddamn sense, people.
Black people don't hope, we wish. We wish a motherfucker would be in our shit.
As far as I'm concerned, they could burn this bitch to the ground, and it still wouldn't be enough. And they are lucky that what black people are looking for is equality and not revenge.